very, very important. It is not enough.
That's not what I want.
Bad basketball. The refs killed the game, and I will be the first to admit
the Texans, who will forever regret passing on Johnny Manziel.
Is that serious right now?
Oh, Golden Boy's coming back.
And he wants to come back.
Dancing with the Stars?
And
Dancing with the Stars?
He called out Conor McGregor.
Oh, shit.
No. That's
God,
true.
No.
Yes.
Hey,
It's a true story.
This I can get into.
Welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports, where your beer is golden, your microphones are golden, but not your nights. I am Loudbeard Kyle Sanders, and across from me, to my right, is...
You were going to go to him no matter what.
It's a natural progression, my friend.
I think this is a conspiracy theory. You always go to him. You never come to me. What, you afraid of me or something?
I mean... You are sitting right next to me, and I'm rubbing you on the shoulder right now.
This golden mic.
We have visual evidence of this.
Stop rubbing me. Look, this golden mic is intimidating. I understand.
Hey, you're lucky it was just your shoulder.
Hey, it is the one and only man with the golden mic, Max Scout Team,
and the one, the only,
Chris America. The reason why he always goes to me first is because I am Beyonce, always on Scout Team Sports.
That's like
Beyonce. I like it.
I am the Beyonce of Scout Team Sports.
I have nothing to say.
So are we basically Destiny's Child circa 2001?
I don't know, because when I look at Anthony, I know he's more T-Boz, and that's TLC.
What? Really?
Yeah, you're more T-Boz.
Why would I be T-Boz?
I don't know. You just have that T-Boz look to you.
No, not really.
Or are you chilly?
Nah, see, I'm left eye right there.
No, don't.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Left Eye, Lopez.
Hey, man, you're doing TLC. It's 3 people. We got to each straight claim one. Is it too soon?
No,
is it too soon?
Peace, man.
Oh, my God. No.
Don't go chasing waterfall.
I love the Weird Al version of that song. I love any Weird Al version of the song.
Weird Al does it right, man. He does it right.
The man with the golden mic does not condone this foolishness.
You don't condone Weird Al?
All right, everybody out there, all the Weird Al fans that like to listen to Scout Team Sports, make sure that you hit up all your insults at Max Scout Team on Twitter.
No, I think you should just send them YouTube videos of Weird Al songs all day long.
They can bring it.
Yeah,
bring
man.
It
give it a little eat it.
I'm a fighter, man.
Some white and nerdy.
Tweet at me.
Yoda Yoda.
Sure.
One of my favorites.
Whatever.
When he dies, I think...
Who, Yoda?
No,
he will never die. He lives in the Force. Forever.
Forever and ever.
Oh, man.
The longest living Muppet of all time.
He's not a Muppet, dude.
He is a Muppet.
He's not a Muppet, dude.
Man, he's my favorite Muppet. My favorite Muppet.
But when Weird Al dies, I think whichever artists are still alive that he's done a parody of, I think they need to go on stage, have a tribute to him, and they sing his songs. So Madonna goes out and sings Like a Surgeon.
No one is gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
That would be epic.
Yes.
That would be epic.
Every artist knows they've made it when Weird Al parodies one of their songs.
That's the indication.
That's the indication that you've made it. What's that?
What are they gonna do when they come to Michael Jackson?
Well, maybe they'll do what is it? Like a hologram thing of him?
Yeah, we'll do whatever, man.
Is that like the Tupac hologram? That's what they would be busting out with the Michael Jackson? I like it.
That's how you know Tupac never made it, because Weird Al never did one of his songs. He did a Coolio song, though.
What did you just say?
Yeah, he did. Not Gangster's Paradise.
Coolio is cooler than Tupac.
What's wrong with this guy?
So, I don't know if you saw this on Jeopardy. There was a Coolio question the other day. Gangsta's Paradise. The contestant answered Gangster's Paradise.
That's wrong.
And they gave him right, and then they came back and said, I'm sorry, we're going to have to deduct points from your score. You were wrong after our judges ended up coming together and deciding that you were wrong.
It's Gangsta's Paradise.
There is a difference.
Because he was kind of tall, skinny, nerdy dude, and he was like, Gangster's
so he was basically
Paradise.
Every single Jeopardy contestant?
Yes.
I have nothing to say. You guys are on.
Have you been on Jeopardy, Anthony?
Yeah, it was
okay.
Like
I figured.
Did you know Weird Al had a song called "I Lost on Jeopardy, Baby"?
No, I don't know. I didn't know that. Is that about Anthony?
I have no idea why I hang out with these
You
guys.
know, he also had a song called White and Nerdy, and we've basically white and nerdied up the beginning of the show, and I love it.
Yeah, you have.
So
Wait, speaking of nerds, we're supposed to prove that Anthony's a nerd. I almost called him Andy for some reason.
Something's wrong. Like,
Andy, welcome to the show. Brand new guest onto our show.
yeah, I'm Andy.
Oh, we got
Hey,
we got
Andy, how you
Amish
doing?
Paradise playing right now.
Oh, a little Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
All right, so let's do our nerd quiz. I have a question for you.
All right, go ahead.
What color was Mace Windu's lightsaber?
That's not a nerd question, dude. That's just a general question.
Answer the question.
It was purple, man.
Nerd.
It's not-
Nerd.
It doesn't mean I'm a nerd.
Now, the blade was purple, but what color was the handle?
It was gold, wasn't it?
Oh,
ultra nerd.
double nerd. Ultra super
No,
nerd.
that's just Samuel Jackson. It's just classic Samuel.
What a big nerd.
Whatever, dude. That's it. I'm not a nerd. Whatever.
You're a nerd.
No.
You're a closet nerd.
I
Just come
watch
out.
Star Wars. What's wrong? You guys watch Star Wars.
I know, because we're
Otherwise,
nerds. We're white and nerdy.
Hey,
Nah, I'm not
we
a nerd.
never claim not to be nerds.
Not a nerd,
You're the
yeah.
one that is the anti-nerd.
Okay.
I'm not anti-nerd. I'm just not a nerd.
Who is the boy wizard with a scar on his head that fought Lord Voldemort?
Dude, I have kids.
No, who is it?
Oh, that
Answer
means
the-
he knows.
Answer the
That's
question.
That's fucked up, dude. I have kids.
Answer the
man.
question.
Mace Windu.
No.
That's what I would have guessed.
Yeah,
Is that not
exactly.
right?
Man, it's
No.
Harry Potter, dude.
Yep,
that
nerd.
doesn't mean I'm
Harry
a nerd.
Potter.
That's,
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know that answer.
it was a good book, man.
Wait,
I'm
you
not
read
a
the-
Harry Potter guy,
You read
man.
the book?
You read the book?
Super nerd.
Oh, man.
I have kids. I told you.
That doesn't
this.
mean you got to read the book. Your kids can read, right?
You're like in the Nerd Hall of Fame.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
So we're on this...
Why do I picture Anthony in his room with his Harry Potter book, holding his golden lightsaber,
shooting it around.
nerding out.
He reads a page and then he's like, "Whew," with his golden lightsaber.
That's kind of weird that you picture me like that, but either way.
You don't want to know what you're wearing while I'm picturing you.
This is why I won't wear a romper around you guys. It's not going to happen. Ever.
So your wife pulled me aside the other day when we were recording the show over
That's
at
what she
Fano Studios, and she said, "Hey, can you start loosening them up on this romper idea? I think I'm hoping that I can get a little of that romper action back at home." And I said,
she wants to see my legs.
"Hey, Mrs. Golden Mike, I have no problem helping you out,
Yeah.
but it's a hard shell to crack, man.
You know what?
This guy, he's anti-romper.
You
He's
know-
been anti-romper from the
what I
very
love-
beginning.
You know what I love most
sleep
about the
naked.
man with the
You know
golden
that, right?
mic? Is he's like an onion. There's lots of layers to him.
He is. He's like Shrek.
Not really, but that's fine. It is what it
So
is.
if it was a golden romper, would that be better? I mean,
No.
I think it should be a golden parachute romper.
No.
ooh,
Dude,
like
parachute
MC
pants
Hammer,
are
like
MC
parachute.
Dude, those
I
parachute
smell-
pants are 90s windbreakers. That's all that is.
I smell the next bet coming on.
No, we're
Golden parachute
Golden
pants
not.
bet.
We're not gonna
Parachute
do
bets.
parachute
Yes,
pants. We're
I
not
like
doing
that. And they would be a lot cheaper than buying a full-on onesie.
You can find
maybe.
we can find some parachute pants at like a Goodwill or something.
I still
You
got
know what?
windbreakers, homie. It'll be fine.
You know what else would be a good bet? And they're kind of making a comeback, but only for people that are like really nerdy. Those Zubas.
What?
Zubas?
What the fuck is that?
Am I saying that right? You know
No.
what I'm talking about? They're like the 80s like NFL player pants where they look like they had like these crazy stripes. Dude, you guys are looking at me like I'm
The old
crazy.
coaches
Was that
pants,
in during
you
the Super Bowl shuffle?
Yes, those
Okay,
ones.
yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
the
They
Zubas.
look like zebras.
Yeah, they look like zebras, but they were called Zubas.
mean? Really?
And I could be butchering that. I'm
Yeah,
not
I think
100%
you
on
are.
it.
I don't think that's the name.
Well, what
of
would
it.
you call them?
Shit, I have no idea, but I don't think that's the
Hey,
name of it.
do you have your fax machine with you today?
No.
You should fact check that on the fax
we'll check
machine.
it out. We'll check it out.
So we're at Gators Dockside right now. We've heard God, the manager, kind of in
God,
the
the
background.
manager, yes.
He's been on our show before.
He's only
We-
kicked me out once, so
That's
he's
fine.
all right in my book.
We have a bet that we still need to get on. When are we going to come back to Gators with our onesie bet? We got to wear onesies.
all of us.
The worst
have
part
to.
about that bet is nobody like won and
Nobody
nobody lost. We're all just.
We're all
I guess
winners.
we're all winners. Yeah.
You know who the real winners are? Our listeners and the patrons of Gator Dockside who get to see us come in with a onesie.
Yeah, we'll all be. Wait. Was it the
Zubaz? The
That's what it
fax
was?
machine shows what's
There
up.
it is, Zubaz.
We're doing a Zubaz bet.
I guess
Okay,
so.
write this shit down. This is
So
good.
did Fresh Prince used to wear those too?
Hell yeah.
So I think we should have like
They
a
were
fresh,
hot.
We should do like a Fresh Prince bet where you got to dress up like Fresh Prince if you lose.
And dance the Carlton.
Why would you dress up like the Fresh Prince and dance to Carl?
I mean, it's a theme. It's a Fresh
theme.
Prince theme.
Okay, got you. Are you
I
guys?
mean,
you
and
guys are both
then
looking
you
at-
got to
Wait,
Uncle
wait, wait.
Phil that
You
shit.
got
Wait,
you got to give like an Uncle Phil wisdom.
Wait, both of you motherfuckers are looking at me like I'm the Carlton or something. What the fuck?
You are the Carl. We just proved you're the nerd of the
Bitch,
show.
I'm Will Smith, motherfucker.
No, we
Whoa,
just proved.
whoa. You
Will
are not
Smith-
the Will Smith.
I'm
Will
the
Smith would
goddamn
You are
nerd.
not the Will Smith.
Just a
Will
little
Smith
darker.
would never read a Harry Potter book.
That's a lie.
You know what? You were more like the butler. What's that guy's name? Jeffrey?
Is it because I'm dark?
No, it's because you're short.
You're a motherfucker.
Wow.
You ain't no Will Smith. Hey, you
gonna
know
beat
what?
your
I'll
ass.
meet you in the middle. You're a little Jazzy Jeff.
No, he's a Stephen Urkel.
I'm gonna nah.
No, that was the
Definitely not
handsome,
Urkel.
sexy
Definitely
Stephen
not
Urkel.
Nah, I'm gonna kick both of your asses. How about that shit?
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Sure.
gonna happen.
Catch
It's
me
gonna
outside.
happen.
How about that?
Are you gonna put a Harry Potter spell on me?
He's gonna play a little Quidditch and
Yeah.
slam us with a flying broom.
There was a golden snitch. That's probably what turned him on. to it.
golden
The
snitch.
The golden snitch, golden Mike.
The
Something's wrong
golden
with you guys.
microphone snitch.
Something's wrong with you people. Something.
All right, so now that we're done with the Anthony Mack Nerd Hour, thanks for nerding out on us.
Oh, you're welcome.
We should talk sports.
Yeah.
Stop trying to nerd out on us, Anthony.
I
Well,
don't
we
think
are
I'm
part
the
of the 12 Ounce Sports Radio network.
Right.
And where you can catch us out on 12ouncesportsradio.com. And there is a nerd show now on 12 Ounce Sports Radio, so we fit right in.
Awesome.
Especially the nerd part.
No.
At least 1/3 of us is really nerdy.
So Anthony should be a guest on that show.
Whatever, man.
You know what?
So, sports.
You can also find us on scoutteamradio.com.
Check it
12
out.
ounce 12 ounce sports. Is it 12 ounce radio or 12 ounce sports radio?
12ouncesportsradio.com.
Tune in, 12 ounce sports radio channel, or you can get us on iTunes, Podbean. Are we on Stitcher?
Yes.
Are we on SoundCloud?
No.
Okay.
SoundCloud.
And
Are we still on YouTube?
yes.
All right.
And if you want to get social, always check us out
At Chris Scout Team
Matt Scout Team.
at Kyle Scout Team.
or the Scout Team at Scout Team Radio or at Scout Team SPRTS.
All of that is on Twitter, and you can check us out on Instagram at
Instagram.
Instacramp.
That's
Sorry.
wrong.
Sorry.
You're still on
Instagram.
that Krampus movie.
I love that shit,
Haven't
man.
watched it yet.
It's so good. You don't understand. It's just so good.
All right, calm down, homie.
Last time I saw it, it had a Brazzers
Here you
or
go.
Brazers
Yeah.
network logo on it, so I knew you'd be into that shit, Golden Mike, sir.
Why are you trying to get
Whatever,
that man
man.
in trouble?
Whatever. Ain't nobody gonna get me in trouble.
All right, so while we're fighting, let's talk about fights in the NBA.
NBA.
I love it. Everybody's hating on it. I love it.
So
I mean,
what
they
if-
need something, right? They need somebody to punch somebody in the mouth. So I'm all for
So
it.
I like the first fight that kind of broke all this big news story the other day, and that's the Clippers fight. And that's the, hey, let's go to the locker room and sneak in the back door
Yes.
and let's have a friendly confrontation that doesn't lead to any fisticuffs.
That was just a weird story.
You know what I
The whole
like?
story was super weird.
You know what I like most about that story is CP3 is the one that gave him the map to how to get to the locker room.
He's like,
'Cause
hey,
he's from the Clippers, so he knows how to get into that home locker room.
But
so-
why did they go? I mean, like, there's no motive or nothing.
And this is a hockey move too. You notice in hockey, you won't see Crosby starting fights. No, you send like some no-name
Yeah.
jabroni to rough up the other All-Star. So that's why you send out former Magic legend Trevor Ariza. Hey Ariza, why don't you go find the here's the map to the locker room. Go over there and just start some shit.
well, you know what? Ariza ended up getting a little suspension out of it. Gerald Green got a suspension.
That's why you send that guy.
But they
You can
said
afford-
I thought it was still
after
investigating.
interviewing and investigating, they found that Chris Paul was really just trying to be a good guy and a mediator. So was James Harden. And those guys were found innocent. So was Blake Griffin. Even though they were starting shit too. But they're the big names. They're the superstars. They're not going to get the suspensions like these other guys are going to get. And I also like how they sent the, like, thug. They're like, okay, Clint Capella, you're our center. You're the tallest dude on the team. You're going to go to the front door and bang on the door and distract them while we sneak in the back door.
That's what you do.
Yeah, it's still a weird story to me. Like I got to know why. Like, what was the motive? Like, you rough people up and you go and, spook them a little bit, but that was just weird. Like, I've never seen anybody sneak into the locker room and start a fight.
The whole thing was weird, but it does mean the NBA is getting a little bit tougher. They've been kind of known for being soft recently.
Well, not just soft, but everybody's friends, and we're all going to play together,
friends,
and blah, blah, blah.
Let's banana boat ride our asses around.
Now we're starting to go to fisticuffs with each other, and I'm just glad Blake Griffin's finally fighting actual other athletes instead of just like an equipment manager.
Yeah.
Well, and this time he didn't break his hand.
Right.
It was out like 6 weeks because of that, right?
I think it was longer, man. I think it ended up being like 12 weeks or something. It was crazy.
Horrible.
Now, Magic game was on the other night. We're Orlando-based.
We won last night.
Yeah. Are you talking about the fight?
No, well, that too. Was it a follow?
A follow, man. He's swinging, man.
But did he win the fight? Because dude kind of had him in the head. Like,
so
he wasn't going
a follow
anywhere.
was just like, oh, what's up? Swings at him, hits him once. Doesn't get a clean shot, but just gets a swing on him. And the dude's like, what are you doing? So he grabs him, throws him in a headlock, and basically, like,
he just holds him there.
Stops him from doing anything. He holds him there. He's like, dude, you're not going to punch me again. If you punch me again, I will break your neck.
That's kind of been the embarrassing thing about the NBA players starting to fight each other is you're starting to realize none of these guys know how to fight.
No, they don't.
There's been a couple of fights,
especially if they're on the Magic, because nobody on the Magic knows how to play,
and that was
knows how to fight.
And that was a weird fight too, because it was like at a free throw, and then all of a sudden he just turns around and throws a punch at him. Like what happened before that?
I heard there was some elbows. There was 2 technicals earlier, about 4 minutes before that fight. It was building up.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
yeah, I guess so.
I think, and I've said this before, hockey's got it right. Let these guys fight it out. You don't see hockey players going and trying to find guys in locker rooms and stuff. Just let them fight it out, and then guess what? You got to play a man down for 5 minutes.
I'm all right with that. Basketball needs
that. Would be pretty fun to see, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the Warriors going 5-on-4? Man.
So I don't know.
Or the Warriors would probably be down a man because Green would be.
Yeah, Green would
be in the penalty box.
Even though I don't think he can fight either.
Because he can't rebound the ball without throwing his leg out into somebody's junk.
Oh yeah, he's the worst. So a few weeks ago, we talked about Vince McMahon getting back into sports entertainment, and we thought it was more for the XFL side of things, but maybe it's going to be the XBA. Hey, he's starting to get these guys fighting. He's like, you're a good fighter. You're coming into the XBA. Yeah. I only have to pay 5 guys, not a team of 50 guys. It's a little bit easier. We can throw a league together pretty quickly.
And he can teach these basketball players how to make a flop look legit instead of the way LeBron does it, where if you just whiff by 5 feet, he falls back.
Yeah, basketball's so soft. I can't believe they're fighting this much, to be honest with you.
I would love it. I would love it, though. Like, before a free throw, you give, like, a Ric Flair knife-edge chop to the free throw shooter, give, like, a big woo, and then watch him try to make a free throw shot after that.
Now, who flops better?
That's the rule.
LeBron or the safety of the Saints?
Oh.
Too soon?
Too soon. All
right. All right.
For the show.
All right. So NBA trade deadline's coming up here in February. So you're starting to see some of these rumors floating around. You guys think any of these rumors are true? Chris, I know we were discussing earlier a little bit about what if Anthony Davis went to the Celtics?
Well, I saw on Twitter there's rumors, whispers, all the other good stuff.
Whisper.
It's Al Horford, Gator legend, national championship, 2-time national championship Gator legend.
Okay,
Al
Horford.
Horford.
Get to the story.
And then, what is it, Tatum?
Yeah, Jason Tatum, who's one of their really young, great players out there doing a lot of good stuff for the Celtics.
For Anthony Davis.
Would you do it?
Is Anthony Davis really that worthy?
I mean, he scored, 45 points 2 nights in a row with 15 rebounds?
45-15 2 nights in a row, and the second time in his career doing that.
But that's with the Pelicans, though. Will he fit in with a Kyrie Irving?
Well, that's why
the team.
I don't know why the Celtics would want to mess with what they have going on right now.
God, they're killing LeBron. They're killing everybody. Why would they want that?
Yeah, but when you kill everybody in the East, and then you have to go play either Golden State or Houston in the finals, you have to be prepared with your A game.
Or the Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
Vince Carter scored a whole bunch of points against LeBron a few weeks ago.
Once again, that's because he's with the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, for sure. Now, the Celtics, I mean, they look good. They're playing the role. Kyrie looks like he's on top of the world. But do you really, if you can get a superstar for Al Horford's kind of an all-star, fringe all-star kind of guy. He's been an all-star before. He's kind of at that point, and then a young up-and-coming guy. But you can get a known superstar in Anthony Davis. I think you got to do it. It's kind of like getting Kyrie. Like, you've got to trade away. Like, they traded away Isaiah Thomas, and they traded away, who's the other guy? Jamison Crowder. And they got rid of those guys, and those were staples on the Celtics just because they wanted that superstar. This is the same example, man. This is taking two known commodities you have on your team, putting them together and combining them to trade them away to get one dude that is out of this world.
Or you could end up like OKC.
You could?
I'm just saying, everybody's like, it goes back to everybody wants to be friends. Everybody wants to play with each other. That formula that they have right now is working. Why fuck up that formula? That formula is great. It's good. But it's killing LeBron. They're top of the East. They're still beating teams in the West. Like, let that formula.
Hey, man, it's still regular season, though.
It is regular season.
This is all about preparing yourself for the playoffs.
To be honest with you, it doesn't even matter until after the All-Star game anyway.
That's true, but once the trade rumors start heating up, you want to get into it. And
I hear you.
I look at it, too. You use OKC as an example. I use Houston as an example. You have James Harden leading that team. He's a bona fide superstar. You have good pieces around him. Why would you bring in Chris Paul to see what would happen? Oh, guess what? The two of them together are freaking amazing, and now you have a team that might compete with Golden State compared to a team before that was good enough to almost be there, but not quite.
But we've seen what that Houston James Harden team did in the playoffs against OKC, against San Antonio, against Golden State. So, we've already seen him. So, of course, he needed an extra piece.
Yeah, but Russell Westbrook needed an extra piece. It just didn't work out. So you're taking a gamble. I see what you're saying. You've got two examples. You've got one example where you've got a superstar in James Harden that you add another superstar in Chris Paul, and it works. And then you have Russell Westbrook.
Superstars.
Yeah, well, you got Russell Westbrook. You add Paul George, and you add Carmelo, and you think, okay, this should work, and it doesn't. So when you take that chance of bringing in a guy like Anthony Davis, are you bringing in a guy that is going to work with your system, or is he not? Is it worth the gamble because you're losing young, talented assets to get this guy? Is it going to work?
And we're always talking about Boston. What about Cleveland? Can he go to Cleveland?
No, Cleveland has to make a move. They don't have the young talent to trade away because the Pelicans aren't going to give away Anthony Davis for peanuts. And
so here's the question I have.
Okay.
Number one, the Pelicans are sitting at the 6th seed at 23-20. They're one game behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. Are they giving up on Anthony Davis and Cousins? That's the part I don't understand. The other thing with Cleveland's problem is they don't have any cap space. They're already in the luxury. They're already spending so much money on players.
Well,
they would have to move somebody like Kevin Love, LeBron James, or Isaiah Thomas to.
But moving Kevin Love wouldn't be a bad deal.
But would
I thought he should have left in the offseason.
So Kevin Love has some value, but at the same time, I don't know that he's been valuable enough for the Cavs for them to say, no way I'm trading him.
Yeah, Kevin Love's expendable.
I think he's expendable. And the Cavs want to make a move because, one, they're in this little bit of a downward spiral. Two, they know that their LeBron run is coming to an end soon. This is all or nothing. So even if they don't make like a super big splash, they're going to make one or two moves just to make themselves a little bit more competitive. So it may not be superstar worthy because I don't think they have enough to trade to the Pelicans to get Anthony Davis, but it may be worthy enough for them to say, all right, what can we move around? Can we get anything for some of these other pieces like a Kevin Love.
I'm just saying.
But would the Pelicans want Kevin Love?
No.
That's the thing.
No, they wouldn't. So
I mean,
you think they would?
With the Celtics trade, do you think the Pelicans get better by giving up Davis for Horford and Tatum?
See, I think Horford's a good piece, but I think the kicker is Tatum. I think Tatum was an early draft pick this year, third in the draft, and he's come out and he's played like he could be a potential superstar. So now are you going to take that risk where when Anthony Davis's contract is up, he walks like some of these other superstars have? Right. Or do you say, okay, let me trade away this guy who could walk in a year or two? I don't know when his contract's up. I'd have to check that out on the fax machine. But he could walk in a year or two, and we really haven't done anything as a team with him other than flirt with the playoffs. This year's been the best they've done, and they're not going to go further than maybe the second round would be their ceiling.
You bring up a good point. If I'm number 6 why would I trade anybody? That's a great point.
That's the weird part about this whole trade rumor is normally that's the type of trade you make when you're losing. Out of the playoffs and you're losing and you're just trying to dump your superstar because, like you said, his contract's up soon. You want to get rid of him. You're kind of looking like maybe the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Miami Marlins, just ready to dump because you know you're a bad team or you're wanting to dump salary and stuff.
But what if they love Tatum and they think that with DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis, it's almost a competitive center power forward position? They want to maybe disperse the talent among the team. I'm just saying, when you look at that personnel in that team, it might not be a bad idea to get rid of one of those guys to bring in some more talent. And that's only if you're in love with Jason Tatum. You have to really think this is going to be the next Kevin Durant, LeBron James type of guy.
But we're only talking about Anthony Davis and not Cousins, though. Like, everybody's Anthony Davis. You trade one of those guys away.
Cousins will be out there on trade rumors soon. He will be. I don't know, but like you said, they're at the 6th seed.
Yeah, I don't
now,
think
teams like Orlando Magic, I think they should be in that sell mode where, hey, can we get a good deal for a player of ours now that's a good talent, maybe bring in some prospects, bring in some draft picks, bring in whatever. The Chicago Bulls, maybe they start selling early. I don't know.
The problem is the Celtics and the Pelicans have Air Jordans to sell where we have Zebos to sell. Like, we're selling Big Baller Brand shoes that aren't worth it.
Overpriced.
There is Mo Buckets. Florida legend
Mo Buckets. Pretty sure he was on one of those national championships. I think he was on the 2007 national championship team.
He might be worth a Bitcoin.
Oh man, Bitcoin.
13,000.
13,000.
Somewhere around there. I'm just saying. With the number 6 seed, like you said, why trade? Well, I mean, we're going into playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. Why trading?
Yeah, you got to keep your superstar Anthony Davis, especially when he's doing 45 and 15.
Yeah, like why? Well, I'm not giving that up for anything. Like, Kevin Love ain't putting those numbers in.
Right.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't trade him. If they do, it got to be one of the craziest moves in NBA history.
Yeah.
A GM's going to get fired in 3 years because of it.
Yeah.
So let it ride. I wouldn't mess with it.
So I mentioned MLB trades to Pittsburgh, and that was the big trade. Kyle, you wanted to talk about this. So what's going on in Pittsburgh?
You know, right now, this isn't the time of year.
Who cares? I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
I'd like to apologize to our audience for that rude interruption by the man with the golden mic.
He's just mad that we're not talking more about Harry Potter.
I agree with that.
I can't believe you
think
never read
he
the
is
book.
mad.
Like,
I read the book.
I think we read the book
dude,
in school.
calm down. It's just Harry Potter. Calm down.
Fuck you, man.
So, baseball, it's really not the highlight of the season right now. It's not baseball. We're talking NBA. We got NFL coming up here shortly. But I did want to throw in a couple little MLB nuggets because I thought these were pretty good trades. Well, when I say good trades, I think they're interesting trades because of a lot of just different moving parts. But some good trades happening here in baseball in the offseason. Andrew McCutchen, who's been the face of the Pittsburgh Pirates over the last few years, gets traded. They also trade their one of their aces, Garrett Cole. So Garrett Cole goes over to Houston, really kind of strengthening that Houston lineup there. And I don't know, I feel like the Pirates are man, their total fire sale.
They looked over at the Miami Marlins and said, "Hey, if it's good enough for Derek Jeter, it's good enough for us." So
let's one up this. Yep, get rid of him. And McCutchen goes over to the Giants, and Giants are going to be competitive. Astros are going to be competitive. The Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be a dumpster fire, and so are the Marlins. Marlins have players on their team that are just like, I don't want to be here. This is awful. Yeah. And they're saying, hey, let's trade away everybody, and that's bad for baseball because those teams are just, the fans have got to be like devastated. Andrew McCutchen, to me, I mean, he was an MVP a couple years back. He is one of those players that just made it exciting. He brought Pittsburgh back to relevance, and now they're gone again. And after, I think the last 5 years, he's been kind of a big figure in that community and gone. So baseball, I love your parody. I love the exciting trades, but Pittsburgh and Miami, you guys suck, dude. Like, those teams, those owners, those general managers, those guys should be punching each other in the faces right now, like the NBA guys.
Yeah, I was listening to At Reality Check-In. Those guys are back. They're better than ever, and they were frustrated.
The one dude with the beard, not Michael Jenkins. The other dude, Matthew Melendez. Just something about his beard. It's just fantastic.
You do love yourself a loud beard.
I do. A loud beard. He's loud. He makes bold predictions. He's my kind of guy. You know what?
Something like that.
My goal this week is to get some call-ins for our next couple shows. And I think Matthew Melendez should be our first call-in guest.
Awesome.
You should have him on Loud Beard Sports.
At Reality Check-In.
Awesome.
So as I was saying before,
wait, let me interrupt you one more time.
By your man crush beard.
So, talk about this Harry Potter situation.
Go ahead.
And Al Horford, UF legend. Gator legend. All right, go ahead. The floor is yours.
You
can say whatever you want to know. What? Did you want to say something?
We're fighting after this episode.
Yeah, we're going to fight
This is going to be a fight episode.
We're going to fight
the Clippers.
Wallow and Ariza.
No, don't say that because those guys can't fight.
So they were saying that they're upset that all of the teams that are the top teams are getting the majority of these players in these fire sales. You're getting Houston's getting, what'd you say, Ketchum? Ketchum?
Yeah, Ash Ketchum from
Ash Ketchum.
I really got to catch up on my baseball.
Gotta catch him all.
No, Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole,
yeah.
That's right.
Pokemon.
And then, you got, obviously you got Carlos Stanton going to New York. So those were the two teams in the ALCS. Giants have won, it seems like they've won 15 World Series titles in the last 5 years.
Yeah, well.
So they're rebuilding after a down year. Surprisingly, the Cubs haven't made any moves yet. Maybe they can get your boy Bryce Harper over there.
Dude, don't talk about that. No, nope.
I know Tailgater Sean would love to have Bryce Harper on the Cubs.
He would, especially after his Fighting Illini had the season that they had this past year. He could use a little boost in his morale over there in Chicago.
When I see trades like that, or trades like the Celtics getting Anthony Davis, I always, I put my little tinfoil hat on. I'm wondering, does the leagues that allow these trades, do they put them together themselves to kind of boost up the better teams? Like we talked about, why would the Pelicans trade away Anthony Davis when they're sitting as the 6th seed? Because the NBA knows that
they'll never win a championship.
They're never going to win a championship. So, but we want to see the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers go to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. So let's send over another player over to Boston.
I think that happens without Anthony Davis.
Same reason why the Los Angeles Lakers got the second pick in the draft, because they wanted to make sure the next legend in the NBA, Lonzo Ball, went to the storied franchise known as the Los Angeles Lakers.
What the fuck did you just say?
You heard me. I didn't stutter.
Are you on the ball train?
Excuse me?
Are you on the ball train?
I'm not on nobody's balls. Nor their train, okay? The caboose, all of it. I'm not on any of it.
Are you good with Lonzo being the face of the NBA for the next 10 years?
Man, I'm not good with LeVar. I think he's a douche. Lonzo seems like he could be a fun player. I'm giving him credit.
My thoughts are changing about LeVar a little bit, about being that strong father figure.
No.
It is. It's changing.
No.
For me, it is. We'll get into it later. But
no, we won't.
But he's just not he's not
As the
not
programming
face.
director, I'm gonna kaput that.
Oh, you're giving
Who
yourself
the
that
hell
title?
told you that you're a program director? What the fuck?
He's like, since I wrote the notes down on a napkin, that means I'm the program
Who the
director.
fuck is this guy? Take his mic away. No, but I mean, like, is his play able to make him the face of the NBA for the next 5 or 6 years?
Well, it depends on how well his play goes because right now he's a rookie.
Uh-huh.
On a rookie year, you can't really tell if this is going to be the next legend.
Okay, then he's going to the sophomore slump, and then
So,
like,
by the third year, you usually know.
okay.
I
so
mean,
so we're giving him 3 years.
you got to give him the 3-year plan. After
right,
3
cool.
years, you cut him if he's not good enough.
All right, we give him 3 years.
Did you say face of the NBA?
Yeah.
I mean, that's way too hard to tell. Right now, the Greek Freak looks to be more set to be the future face of the NBA.
I think
than
the Greek
Lonzo
Freak
Ball.
is one of the most exciting players I've ever seen play.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no Michael Jordan, but he's going to be up there in one of these guys. He's going to be a LeBron James type.
All right, guys. I'm all NBA out. I'm all MLB out. And since we're talking about future faces of their sport, let's talk about the future face of the NFL, Blake Bortles.
Yes.
That's the most fucked up, ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Are you serious?
Hey,
Look, I will say something about Blake.
Man,
He
he's
has
getting mad.
He has one of the ugliest thrown footballs I've seen in the NFL. Him and Casey Keenum have the ugliest
Casey
thrown
Keenum?
ball.
Casey Kasem?
Case, whatever. his
Coming up
fucking
next
name
on the Top 40, Casey Keenum.
is. Whatever. Hey, all I'm saying is, those are some ugly thrown footballs. Both, they're ugly. I'm just saying.
So, to be the GOAT, you have to beat the GOAT. And guess what's going to happen this weekend? He's going to beat the GOAT.
Now, with that being said, I said that the New England Patriots would make it back. So, yes, I have to root for the Jaguars, who only scored 10 points against Buffalo.
Yeah, because you got your first half of your bold prediction that day wrong.
Yeah, it was fucked up. God damn Atlanta. Yeah. They
I was good. I was 3 out of 4. I was happy with that. In the Saints game, we'll recap this weekend. So
Let's go.
you want to let's not start with the Saints game because I feel like that's more of a,
Yeah.
it's like we'll call that the happy ending.
Let's start with that
game.
Falcons-Eagles game. Is the most boring game of the weekend. Well, I don't know. Between
Nope.
that and the Patriots.
The Patriots-Titans game was the most boring game because I watched it,
Yeah,
and
that's
about
pretty
at halftime I said, okay, the Titans have 0 chance of winning it now, and this game sucks because the Patriots are dominating them. Done deal. Titans shouldn't be here. Patriots win. Moving on.
Yeah, basically.
Hey, let's fire our coach after that. It was so bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is weird. Like, why fire a coach that got you to the second round of the playoffs? I'm just saying.
Because the NFL is a
make sense
weird,
to me.
weird place. You got guys like Jeff Fisher who hangs around for 25 years
Yeah.
just because he went to one Super Bowl, and then you fire guys like Mike Mularkey
who did good
who
things
did
for your
good things
program.
for your program. And
Absolutely.
It was a weird fire. Like, it came out of left field. No one saw it. Like, I didn't see it coming. It was just
So,
like, all right, they went
one
to
of the
second
things
round of the playoffs.
one of the
We're
things I
done.
hate is so when they fired him, they're like, yeah, they got to fire him now. They got to hire an offensive guy, and I'm like, no, this isn't how this works. You don't hire a coordinator as your head coach. You keep your head coach. If the offense is bad, you just fire the offensive coordinator and you hire a new offensive coordinator.
Basically.
It's like the Panthers. We fired Shula, and now we're going to hire a new offensive coordinator. We don't sit there and say, well, our offense sucks, so let's get rid of Ron Rivera. Let's fire this good coach who's taken us to 4 playoffs because our offense is bad and Cam Newton isn't playing well under. No, you get rid of the offensive coordinator and you get a new one.
But is Tennessee regarded as one of those top teams that is always relevant and is run with great ownership and always makes good decisions?
Unless you're,
No, they're not. They're not known as one of those teams.
I mean, honestly, unless you're the New England Patriots, none of those teams are really that team. Maybe the Green Bay Packers,
Pittsburgh Steelers.
So,
They're
but
still
other
up
than
there.
that, there's
Still
not
up
many
there.
out there. Like
So the next game you said that was boring, right? Let's kind
the
of
Eagles, Falcons.
Falcons.
Yeah.
So let's fire all of them on the Falcons because they suck. Once Kyle Shanahan, Redskins legend, left, that offense has just not been the same.
That's what it was?
But boring game.
Yeah.
Low scoring. Defenses kind of ran that show. And good for the Eagles, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people were giving them grief because, Foles, he can't run this show. And not that he did that much, but he did enough to win the game.
Now, something that was interesting about this weekend is the three of us had 4 of our divisional rivals in the playoffs this weekend. I had the Saints and the Falcons. You had the Minnesota Vikings, and you had the Eagles. Only one of us posted a picture of him and his family in full-on divisional rival gear. It wasn't me. Was it you?
Hell no, it wasn't me.
What's going on there, Kyle, Scout Team?
So I got to throw out some love to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a Redskins fan through and through. And wearing that Eagles stuff probably makes people question that, and I'm okay with you questioning that because I know who I am. I'm not afraid of being in this skin.
You're comfortable in your
I am comfortable in my football skin.
He's all over the place this year, by the way.
He is.
I am.
He's an Alabama
I like it.
fan. He's an Eagles fan, dude.
So I've got family up in Philly. My sister is a diehard Eagles fan, and she bought me a Wentz jersey. And then for Christmas, bought me and the entire family Eagles shirts. And she said, you better wear that shit and support my team because we're going to win. And I said, all right, I'm going to do it. And on Scout Team Sports, I said from the very beginning, my 2 teams I was supporting, AFC was going to be the Jaguars, and the NFC was going to be the Eagles.
He was right.
And I'm supporting like I should support.
Yeah.
I'm throwing tweets out about Bortles Mania left and right. And I'm wearing Eagles clothes out in public. I am a true fan. Does any of that add up? Like, are you buying any of it? Like, is that working?
I mean,
I don't think I could ever be caught in Saints gear, Falcons gear, or Buccaneers. Unless my son went and played for them and they started paying him millions of dollars, then I'll play.
I would never be Eagles gear.
But even if Landon, my son, went to play for Florida State, I don't know that I could wear Florida State gear because Florida State's not paying me money. But if he went to the Buccaneers, and I'm starting to see, that $1 million kicked back to old daddy, then I can wear it.
I guess so.
Wait a second. I thought your son's name was Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Well, for one, my kids aren't allowed to go to Florida.
Nerd question. What movie franchise is Lando from?
Lando Calrissian.
That's a good one. I don't know. Honestly, don't.
Wow.
Ooh.
Kiss my black ass.
I think he's
lying. He just gave it away. He showed
lying.
his hand.
No, I don't. I don't know who it is. What is it?
Okay, he's he's the black guy in Star Wars, the original black guy with Han Solo.
Lando.
Yeah, Lando.
Yeah, see, now he knows.
I didn't know his full fucking name. What's the fuck
Calrissian.
you guys?
Come on, man.
Lando, the dude with the Jerry curl.
Yes, Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Oh, come on.
Oh, fuck you guys. Keep going.
All
What
right.
are you talking about? I'm never wearing Eagles.
Are you surprised the Eagles won? I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised either.
No, I'm not surprised, but I wish
the
it didn't
Falcons
happen.
were coming in pretty hot. I will say that they were coming in with a lot of confidence, and the Eagles I like how they played this off. They said, you know what, we have a chip on our shoulder. Nobody's given us the shot that we deserve. They are the underdog as the number 1 seed going against the 6th seed at home. And guys like Lane Johnson, they're fantastic right tackle. They're fantastic right tackle. He says, dude, you guys aren't going to respect us. We're going to go in there and just punch them in the mouth and show them that we are the better team. And now you got to go up against the Vikings, who, man, look tough. So we'll see how they come out this week, but I'm still going Eagles. I got to go Eagles all the way.
All right, well, I'll get to my prediction later on in the show. Let's talk about the other game. We talked about Blake Bortles being the face of the NFL.
You mean my AFC team, the Jacksonville Jaguars,
not really
with
the face of
UCF
the
legend,
Not really.
the one and only Blake Bortles. To be the GOAT, you have to beat the GOAT. That's Blake Bortles. He's going to represent, and they have one of the best, not one of the best. I'm going to correct myself. The best defensive backfield in all of NFL. And there's 2 guys on that defensive backfield. I'm going to give a little love out to Florida State legend Jalen Ramsey, who has also predicted a Super Bowl win, just to throw that out there. And the other cornerback, UCF legend AJ Boye. This team can't lose.
If they win, and I'm rooting for them this weekend. Trust me, I want Jaguars to win, but it won't be because of Blake Bortles.
Will it be because Rob Gronkowski came out and said the Jags are the best team that they have faced all year?
Yeah.
Is that why they're going to win?
All right, let's talk about this Steelers game for a second before we get into who's going to win.
All right, so Steelers,
you guys
Jaguars.
watched the game?
Yes.
I did not watch the game because I was in the Bahamas. I ran a marathon, and then I went home and took a nap. I was done. I got up at
smoking
4 o'clock. I wish I was.
It wasn't Jamaica.
I wish it was. I mean, I'm sure they got the ganja in Bahamas.
They got the ganja in the Bahamas, huh?
They
It's
got
not
the
really
ganja
known
everywhere.
for it as much. I mean, you could go to like the corner store and get that shit now.
Yeah,
If you're in Denver.
I guess so.
Hopefully sometime soon in Florida.
Hopefully.
Hey, man, let's lobby for it. Our audience
But-
can help us out.
The way I see it, or the way I understood it afterwards, the Jaguars kicked their asses, and the score isn't the score doesn't indicate the game was as close as the score said it was.
No, not really. I mean, it was.
I mean, there was a
still
point where they were up
close
by like
game.
28-7, wasn't there?
Yes, but Pittsburgh start threatening in the fourth quarter. They
Well, did
start
they threaten
using-
because they were coming back, or did they do the typical "we're just going to run prevent defense" and like
No.
they got too
No, they
conservative
were balling.
type deal?
So watching the game, the Pittsburgh Steelers deserve a lot of credit for just hanging into that game because the Jacksonville Jaguars jumped off to a quick lead. Leonard Fournette had a couple touchdowns. They had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So the defense was making plays. And Pittsburgh looked like they had no answer for Jacksonville. And then all of a sudden in the second half, Ben started making some plays. Now he had a couple touchdowns to Antonio Bryant. I mean, the coverage...
Who?
I said Antonio Bryant. Antonio Brown.
Son of a bitch.
So, hold on. So, he has a couple touchdowns to Antonio Brown. The guy's covered, like, unbelievably by A.J. Boye. Still makes these incredible catches. Huge catch down the line to Martavis Bryant. And they had another guy. The whole thing was they were making incredible plays against a really tough defense.
Yes.
They were doing everything they could to win that game. The biggest problem I saw in the game, and Anthony, you may agree, disagree, I don't know what you think on this, is some of the play calls on 4th and 1 were questionable throughout the game. So you've got basically 1 foot to get to the first down, and you have a 260-pound quarterback, and you throw a 20-yard pass down the field against the best secondary in the NFL. Guess what? You turn it over on downs.
They didn't respect
on key plays.
So here's where the big discussion has been. There's people wanting Tomlin gone.
No.
Tons of Steeler fans
No.
are wanting Tomlin gone. But
No.
worse than that, and now I can't say that I've ever liked Ben Roethlisberger because I don't like accused rapists.
Okay.
But I've respected his game.
But if they're falsely accused?
I don't know. There's never been proven that he did and that he didn't. Anyways.
Weird.
I try to stay neutral on guys like that because I don't want to root for a guy
Right,
and then
right.
it turns
Makes
out
sense.
he's really a rapist. So just whatever, Ben Raplesberger.
Horrible name.
But I've kind of
I've heard the big rape.
I've kind of respected his game. But then these last 2 seasons, and I don't know if he's always been like that. People say he's always been like this, but it's really come out in national media. Last year he made it all about himself, like, am I going to retire? Am I not going to retire? Now this year, he's twice thrown his coaches under the bus after a big loss instead of just either shutting his mouth or taking responsibility himself. He threw the Todd Haley under the bus after the Patriots loss, and now he's going on his radio station after this. You talked about the 4th and 1 and it's quarterback sneak. He's like, we don't even have an audible for a quarterback sneak. And I've even mentioned to Coach Tomlin, maybe we should do a shotgun, spread them out, and I can just do a quarterback draw. And Tomlin laughs and says, you're too old for that, maybe in your younger days. So he's basically throwing his head coach under the bus. And if that's true, you keep that ish in-house.
Well, the good news is offensive coordinator Todd Haley is now on the streets looking for a job because of Ben Roethlisberger.
But is that good news? Because
no, it's not good news.
Steeler fans are like, good, Todd Haley's gone, we want Tomlin gone. The Steelers finished with the number 3 overall offense. Ben Roethlisberger threw for nearly 500 yards and almost came back to win it. I can give some credit to Ben Roethlisberger, but he's not Peyton Manning. Ben Roethlisberger's never been known for going up to the line and changing the play and doesn't need an offensive coordinator. And a lot of people talk about, Tomlin won a Super Bowl with Cowher's players. No, he didn't.
He won.
That was bullshit.
Jerome Bettis
I've heard
has
that.
been gone.
I've heard
it was
that.
like
That's
4
bullshit.
or 5 years later.
Yeah.
Number 2, Ben Roethlisberger was a shitty quarterback in that first Super Bowl win.
Yep.
He was carried
Yes,
to
he
that
was.
Super Bowl win.
Yes.
And he developed and became a great quarterback under Tomlin and whatever. I don't know if Haley's been there the whole time, but whatever system that Tomlin has allowed, he's thrived in. And he's grown in. Because when Cowher was the coach, again, like I said, he was a shitty quarterback. He was that quarterback where he was basically Blake Bortles, just managed the game.
Yep.
Ben Roethlisberger. Because if you look at his...
Bortles is not shitty.
Yes, he is. Look,
Go ahead.
all right. Well, check this out. Juju Schuster, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and a. I mean, who else? They got another.
Martavis Bryant.
Look.
Eli Rogers had a big game. They've got weapons.
They got fucking weapons. You name all those players,
Right.
And the weakest player on that offense is
Ben
Ben
Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger has been the problem for the last 5 or 6 years. Honestly, it's no way that they shouldn't have put up 55 on anybody. That team is loaded down
Right.
with weapons.
And that's
Period.
the other thing that I thought about is everybody wants Tomlin gone. Everybody's siding with Ben Roethlisberger. You're siding with the quarterback who said a year ago he doesn't even know if he wants to play anymore.
Let that guy go.
Because
Let
you
him
know
go.
what? Let's say he comes back next year. How long do you have with Ben Roethlisberger?
To be honest with you, I think he should have been done 5 or 6 years ago.
I don't know about 5 or 6, but
No,
maybe
let him
2
go.
or 3.
Let him
Well,
go.
I don't think
Maybe
there's
at
been
least
enough
last year.
criticism on the defense either.
Well, the defense.
Oh, yeah.
the
I mean,
defense-
Jacksonville ran rub shot on them.
I get that. And the defense was a little rough around the edges. But once again, you have weapons on offense. Go get a wide receivers and probably the best back.
I mean, he's right,
the
because
league.
look at what happened when Tom Brady had Randy Moss. They broke every single quarterback wide receiver combo record known to man.
Dude, and
That was an
Roethlisberger-
exciting
and-
year.
And Roethlisberger got at least 2. I'm not saying
If-
Randy Moss, but at least 2 Pro Bowl.
But Antonio
type
Brown
receivers.
isn't that far off of
No.
what Randy Moss
No,
was
no,
in
no,
2007.
God,
He's
no.
that good.
Yeah,
He
he's
is.
awesome.
He is
So
that
if
good.
you gave Tom Brady Antonio Brown, he would have
He'd be
had another
unstoppable.
55 touchdowns.
Unstoppable.
I don't know.
Roethlisberger got to go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like Tomlin. Tomlin, once again, you're going to fire a coach that took you to the second round of the playoffs.
Not only just
They're
second
not gonna
round of the
fire him,
playoffs,
though.
but
Super Bowls.
48 wins, 2
Come
Super
on,
Bowls.
get that.
See, this is where that good organization with good general management, good ownership
Yeah.
says, "Are you crazy?
This
This is fan overreaction. We are sticking with our guy. We do not fire coaches just to fire coaches."
Get rid of Roethlisberger. Get rid of him. Hey, he's your problem. Out of all those weapons, there's no way that he shouldn't have had. Hell, I'll go ahead and say it. 6,000 passing yards this season.
Especially now that he's constantly getting on the microphone, getting
Saying,
on
"I
the
don't know
radio
if I should
station,
play."
saying, "I don't know if I should play," and my coaches suck, and it's everybody else's fault but mine.
get outta
It's not
here.
my fault that I got strip sacked and the defense picked it up for a fumble, and
I can't
that I was
move.
basically dominated for 3 quarters. And
Man, I
can't
hate
outside the
players
pocket.
that do not own what they've done.
And you know what? It's
but
not
he's
even just
always like that,
It's not
though.
even just owning up to it. It's you keep that stuff in house.
True.
Look at
The Patriots.
the Patriots.
Mhm.
It took inside sources to get that
and they're still denying
stuff out
it.
there, and they're
all
still
three
denying it.
of them.
All three of them.
Like,
There's nothing
that
going
ain't
on.
nothing- That ain't the truth. We
All
know
right, all right.
something's wrong.
All right, last game of the weekend, right?
Vikings Saints.
So I will say that I had a dinner plans with the wife, and we had this double date thing with another couple, and I got to catch the first 10 minutes of the game, and then we went out on this double date. So I'm sitting there pulling a one of those, hey, let me look at my phone real quick and check out the score during dinner. So we get all the way through dinner, and I'm like, damn, they were down like 14-0, and now all of a sudden it's 17-14. What the hell's going on? So we get through dinner, and I'm like, you guys mind if we head up to the bar real quick? Because they got a TV up there at the bar. So we go over to the bar, grab a couple drinks, and I get to catch the last, 5 or 8 minutes of this game.
The only time they matter.
Holy shit. One of the best series of events that I've ever seen unravel in an NFL game. I know everybody that's an NFL fan has seen this, and I know we all have opinions on it, but I just want to say I was basking in the awesomeness that was this NFL game. This is what I live for. I'm not a fan of either team. I really didn't give a shit. I think I said last week that it was a coin flip.
Yeah.
And hell, that was a pretty good guess because that shit was a coin flip. It was a rookie safety that went ahead and did the whole rookie jive and decided to put his head down and try to spear a invisible man while a guy was jumping for a football.
The game came down to the last second, and it was. I can't honestly say it was spectacular because, once again, I'm kind of a defensive guy. I kind of like for defense to prevail. Defense wins championships. But that game was absolutely crazy in the fact that rookie safety, like, he ignored everything that he's ever been taught, from pot water up, to keep your head up, and to wrap up the tackle. And he's known as the guy who let the game slip away in the last second.
So, a couple of things about this game. You talking about how you were out at a bar. I was out at a restaurant as well. I mentioned that I was in the Bahamas. I actually did get to see this game.
Crazy white guy.
Yeah. So when we first get to this restaurant, they had on America's Next Top Model on the TV.
Ooh.
And it was like,
with Tyra Banks? Because
yeah.
I want to punch her in the throat.
Yeah, I know you do. And I was like, yeah, you got to change this.
Don't even look at me like that.
To the
Don't
Vikings
look at me
game.
like that.
And I was glad that they were able to put the football game on in the Bahamas.
Thank
and then
God.
when that play happened, our whole table went nuts, and all the locals are looking at us like, what are these Americans talking about? Like, what's going on?
What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
is something wrong with you?
This isn't real football. And I'm like, I don't care.
Exactly. This isn't football.
The other thing is everybody's giving shit to this safety, but the way I looked at it, I think the safety is the result, like that kind of play is the result of these new rules of the head hunting and everything else. Is I feel like he was trying to not get a penalty, not get that hit the defenseless receiver, and I feel like he was overthinking the play. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more of this as players get ejected and flags get thrown, because this is time expiring. The last thing you want is a penalty that sets them up in field goal range and everything else.
Nope. The last thing you want is a touchdown by Stephon Diggs.
I get that, but
he didn't even touch him, man.
I get it, but it didn't.
And if you're talking about rules, his head was completely down, which is why he missed the tackle, which is an illegal play.
No,
like,
I feel for him, though, right?
No, because when you get the penalty...
I mean, he's a young, talented guy that he effed up. Like, I feel for him.
His head was down, but he launched himself low when players
he was
get
trying
themselves...
to go shoulder first, so he made that, like, jive
when players
move.
get themselves penalties, it's when your head is down and you launch yourself high, and you lead with the crown. He was trying to... I don't know, man. I feel like this is...
wrap up. You still use your hands to wrap up.
Yeah, he should have wrapped up.
Like, dude,
again,
come on, this coming from a coach.
I get
you
it.
Still
I get
wrap
it.
Up.
I get it. But
dude, it was
when
bad.
he didn't whiff, when the player had the ball. He whiffed while he was in the air trying to make the catch. And one of the rules is you can't hit a defenseless receiver. And I feel like he just overthought the play.
Okay, well, no, I can see where you're going with that. I may not necessarily fully agree, but Anthony really thinks you're full of shit right now.
You go for the kill, which I think that's what he was trying to do. Forget
if he was going for the kill, he would have fallen flat on his face because he would have had full-fledged momentum. He just kind of missed.
No, you go for the kill, which is you going underneath his legs and you're gonna flip him. When he catches that ball, he's gonna flip back. He's gonna drop that son of a bitch. Or you go for the sheer tackle, which every coach teaches. This last minutes of the game, you go for the sheer tackle. Wait for him to come down, and then you tackle him. That's it.
So
He was behind him. He could have stood straight up, waited for him to come down, and tackled him. Period, bro. This safety. Well, for one, I don't feel bad for him, but I don't think he has a job next season, right?
No, he was a rookie, and he actually played really good all year. I do feel for him because it was one bad play. You know who I really...
It was one bad fuck up.
Who I feel for, but I'm excited for? Case Keenum.
Yeah.
The reaction on his face, it was like that, like, holy shit, what just happened? I can't believe it. This happened to me. And he's looking around like, did this just happen? He's looking around, somebody comes up and hugs him, and he's like, I can't believe it. And he starts running around like a crazy man. Did you see that footage? He was just out there.
But do you know whose reaction was even better? Stefon Diggs.
He
He basked in the glory.
Oh,
with it,
yeah.
And he deserved every bit of it. The funniest part was him. He ran over to the bench, jumped up on the bench, and just did his old, like, arms crossed, my serious rap face, like, and like you could see he wanted to smirk, but he's trying to like look all tough and stuff. And
this is a third-year guy, so he's still young. I mean, he has never experienced this sort of like craziness before, right. So you could tell like I'm new to the game, but like here I'm representing. Right. Like let me show you how excited I am. And Minnesota fans. That stadium erupted.
And Minnesota fans, they deserve it because it was even highlighted before they kicked that field goal to go up, before the Saints kicked the field goal to go up, was how many of their shortcomings, their misses and everything. Mm-hmm. So here they have just elation of going. I mean, I would love to see what the mathematical odds of that play working out the way that it did because I guarantee you it's like 1 millionth of a percent.
Oh yeah, it's
like
such a small percentage.
0.1 millionth of a percent of happening.
Passing I've seen. In
wait.
Hold
on. Don't be hating. Why you hate on all these really good quarterbacks?
He's an elitist. He hates American Athletic Conference.
Hey, you know who's got the ugliest pass in the NFL right now?
Who?
Jameis Winston, FSU legend. That dude can't throw.
Dude, no. Blake Bortles and Casey can't throw.
Blake Bortles facts. Blake Bortles and Case Keenum have far more playoff wins than Jameis Winston could dream of.
I get that.
True.
I get that.
Because you know what?
Truth.
Jameis Winston has been to one playoff game, and he got demolished by the Oregon Ducks.
Was that Mariota?
I get that, and it's a fact. But the fact of it also is there's some ugly passing. It's just ugly passing. I don't care what you say, man. Go back and look at like I was watching the game and I was like, there's some ugly passing. Casey, like, fuck, that ball was it was a dead duck. We call it dead ducks. It was just dead ducks flying all over the place. It was bad. I'm sorry. I think they're ugly passes. Ugly passers.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So Anthony's not a fan of the ugly passes. Do you think
fuck those ugly passes?
We're going to see ugly games this weekend? I think this is going to be a good weekend of conference championship football. It'll be better than last year when the Atlanta Falcons blew out the Green Bay Packers.
Agreed.
That's fucked up. Man.
Agreed.
That's fucked up.
So here's my biggest concern. I'm going Jacksonville all the way. I think a lot of fans out there...
Whoa. Super Bowl too?
Nah, Super Bowl, I haven't made my final prediction
all
yet.
Right, calm down there, homeboy.
I'm going... From the beginning, I said Jacksonville and Philly in the Super Bowl. I haven't pronounced a winner in that game yet.
Gotcha.
I'll have to think about that one. But Jacksonville, look at this team playing defense like crazy, but going up against the damn New England Patriots. I hate the Patriots. I'm like 99% of Americans out there. The other 1% was born in Boston. Everybody else hates the Patriots. Nobody wants to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl again. Nobody wants to see that. My boy, Blake Bortles, needs to come through for me. This defense, which is unstoppable, better come out with their A game and make the Patriots pay. But my worry is that damn Tom Brady and that damn Bill Belichick will cheat their way to another Super Bowl.
Fournette and that offensive line are going to have a big game. I'm not sure Bortles can do it. I'm not sure Bortles can carry the team. He needs not to fuck up. He needs not to make any turnovers. It's kind of like the old age. Don't fuck up. Don't turn over. No fumbles. no interceptions, just manage the team.
But what is Bill Belichick doing right now? He's game planning.
Oh, he's going to make.
So
him
what
pass.
is his game plan? His
He's
game
gonna
plan
make him
is to
pass.
stop the strength of the Jaguars, which is Leonard Fournette.
He's going to make him pass.
Bortles will have to make some plays. And he did last week. He made some good plays. It may not have been pretty the entire game, but when it counted, the dude made plays, whether it's running 9.5 yards for a first down on a 3rd and 9, or if it's making a weird pass that gets caught by one of his janky receivers that don't typically show up when they need to. Whatever it was good enough to win, and I think he can do it again.
His wide receivers definitely don't show up.
No, man. Those guys aren't that good.
No,
I like Marquise Lee, but dude.
All I know is all I can think of is Scooby-Doo when you said janky.
Janky.
Janky, Scooby.
Yeah.
Jankies.
Who's the nerd now? Look.
You are.
Leonard Fournette and that offensive line have to have a big game. He has to put 150 on them. Bortles, just don't fuck up. I'm rooting for Jaguars this week because I don't like New England. I made a prediction that they wouldn't make it back to the Super Bowl. So I gotta go Jaguars.
I think to break down this game, we have to look at the fact that the New England Patriots have been really bad on defense this year. And do I trust that regular season Patriots defense is the same as playoff Patriots defense?
That's a difference.
There is a difference. And Bill Belichick is good at reshaping things and rescheming things. But if it is, I think Jacksonville has a really good chance of winning this game. Football, to me, I mean, all sports, it's all about matchups. And the worst team that I feel like Jacksonville is one of the worst teams that the Patriots could go against, because to beat Tom Brady, you have to get him off his spot. And what better team to get him off his spot than Saxonville Swagwires?
I love it. I love it. Hashtag that shit.
Is that really their hashtag?
Well, it's Saxonville, but I threw in the Swagwires.
Swagwires.
Because after Jalen Ramsey, your boy Jalen Ramsey said, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They better
They got
step
that
up.
swag.
Yeah.
And you know
They
what?
better step up.
I think it's so stupid that everybody's judging them and being like, "Oh, you can't call your shot like that." The 85 Bears.
Why not?
The 85 Bears made a Super Bowl shuffle in like October.
Yes, they did.
So apparently now the Jacksonville Jaguars can't predict that they're going to win the Super Bowl 2 games out, but the Bears can.
Did you just compare them to the 85 Bears?
That defense
That's bold.
The defense looks pretty good.
And
Yeah.
I like it.
Don't do
That's
that.
what I'm saying is I like it.
Don't do that. Look,
What?
I'm going for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And
No, you're a Tom Brady lover.
And absolutely, no one ever said, "Oh, you know what? This weekend we're going to play a tough team. I guess we're going to lose." No one's ever said that in an interview. Like,
No.
if you do, you're off the team, dumbass. Jalen Ramsey absolutely said the right words. We're going to fucking win the Super Bowl. Go fucking win the Super Bowl.
When you look at the Patriots past in the playoffs, they've lost to one of the best defenses in the league. When they lost to the Denver Broncos, it was because the Denver Broncos were a damn good defense.
Yeah.
When they lost a few years ago to Joe Flacco and the Ravens, it's because that defense just straight out punked them.
And you're right. Peyton Manning wasn't that strong in that Denver Broncos team.
Yeah. And
Right.
and neither is
Noodle
Joe
arm,
Flacco.
Peyton Manning. That's what Chris calls him.
So-
Chris America.
Here's the thing that
endorses
got to
this
happen.
message.
Fournette's got to run, like you said. Bortles doesn't have to win the game. He just has to not lose the game.
fuck up.
And the defense just has to get
They have to
Tom
play out
Brady-
of their mind.
Tom Brady off his spot. You got to guard. Obviously, the biggest challenge is going to be keeping Gronk in check.
But do you
I don't
put
think
any?
that's hard. I don't think that's hard with that defense.
He'll make a couple big plays, but it's making sure he doesn't get like 9 or 10 catches for 200 yards. Having him have 2 or 3 catches, maybe 60, 70 yards. He's going to have a few, but keeping him a little bit in check I think is good. But do you guys put any merit into the fact that Tom Coughlin is the Patriot killer in the
I
Super
was
Bowl?
going to say
I'm wondering what you're
ace,
thinking.
The
I'm
ace
not
in the
going
hole
Yes, it is.
Tom Coughlin.
I'm not going.
And it's hard to say that Tom Coughlin has anything to do with anything because he's the president. He's not a coach. He's not a coordinator. He's not a quarterback. He's the president.
He's
the guy.
He's the
not done
Donald
giving
Trump of the
advice.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
He's the general manager, basically. But we cannot deny
He's got a bigger button than the Patriots.
You said that with a straight face. You said that with a straight face.
We cannot deny that the Jaguars, the last time they were good was when they had Tom Coughlin. And now that Tom Coughlin's back, magically,
good again.
We're in the AFC Championship. They haven't been in the AFC Championship since Tom Coughlin was in the building.
And having a few UCF Legends helps.
So we'll see what happens. But my head says Patriots.
Yes, it says Patriots.
But my heart and part of my head, with everything I just mentioned, I believe can happen. I'm going Jacksonville Swagwires.
I'm going Jacksonville. Anthony, who you got?
I'm going Jacksonville. I hate Patriots.
That's right. This is a smart group right here. We're going all Jacksonville.
Oh, we're going to like idiots
on
Monday morning.
Love it. There is nothing better than the Patriots losing.
Now
nothing better.
I tweeted this out. Is
it one of those tweets you delete when it goes wrong?
No. I tweeted this out earlier this week.
He does that a lot.
If Tom Brady's going to win his 6th Super Bowl, he's going to have to go through Marcus Mariota, Blake Bortles, or
Case or
Nick.
Yep.
But people say, "Oh, this is the easiest Super Bowl he'll have to go." This is going to be Tom Brady's hardest challenge. Outside of the Tennessee Titans, because their defense isn't known for anything, he's going to have to go through Jacksonville's defense, and then he's going to have to go through the other two defenses, which are some of the toughest in the league.
Very tough.
Minnesota and Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I hate when people say it's Case Keenum versus Tom Brady. No, it's Tom Brady versus Minnesota's defense.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady versus Jacksonville's defense. And, man, these are the 3 toughest defenses in the league, and Tom Brady's going to have to face them. And that's where I feel like if he wins his 6th, he's already the GOAT, but he's definitely the GOAT.
Yeah.
So with that said, you have Nick Foles against Minnesota's defense, and you have Case Keenum against the Eagles' defense.
I'm confused.
Who wins that battle?
Case Keenum or Casey Keenum?
Keenum.
Just call him Keenum.
Keenum.
So I'm going Eagles all the way on this, and this is I'm going with my family, with my heart.
You're going against UCF legend Latavius Murray?
Wow.
So this is a tough one because I saw that Minnesota game. I saw Case Keenum and what kind of leadership he brought to that team, the spark he brought to that team. Adam Thielen, you got Jarrett McKinnon, you've got UCF legend Latavius Murray. You've got a lot of weapons on that. And on defense, one of the top cornerbacks behind A.J. Boye and Jalen Ramsey would be FSU legend Xavier Rhodes. So this Minnesota Vikings defense is nasty. I still am going with my heart and going with the Eagles. But if the Vikings won, I would not be surprised. But they do have a little bit of fate going against them, and that is the fact that a team has never had a home game in the Super Bowl. You think that means anything, fellas?
Not really.
Honestly, that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the Minnesota Vikings to make it so we can finally have that. And listen, this is a good thing for Preston from the Sports Counter because he predicted his Eagles would do well. He's an Eagles fan, and he called everybody out and said the Minnesota Vikings are the team to look out for. And he was right, man. They're right there.
So preseason, I remember listening to that episode, and I was like, dude, this guy has
him.
No idea what he's talking about.
I mean, he was wrong because he said it was going to come through Sam Bradford, and that's where I was really ragging. I'm like, listen, if Sam Bradford's the guy. Yeah. But if you told me Case Keenum was the guy,
we would have been like, dude, you're crazy.
It would have been even worse. It would have been like, dude.
We would have,
your sports caster license has been revoked.
Sorry. I just bumped knees with Anthony. It was romantic.
I'm going to go with this game. I'm going to go with who has the better defense, and I think Minnesota Vikings have the slighter edge.
Oh, really?
Eagles at home, though. You're going Eagles have the home field advantage.
Fine.
That's
fine.
What?
That's the wild card right there.
Look,
are you serious?
I like where you're going with that because Minnesota's tough. All right, so I'm going Eagles. Chris America's going Vikings.
Hold on. They held Drew Brees to 0 points through most of the game in a dome. I have the feeling they can do the same to Nick Foles out in the open.
Yeah, but okay, sure. So to break the tie, we've got our third gentleman here. He's got a golden mic, and sometimes his opinions are skewed because he's an FSU lover for always. What do you got?
I can't go with two ugly passes in the Super Bowl. I just can't. The Super Bowl ugly passes.
So who's got the pretty pass on this game? Because
Nick Foles has a better pass.
You're going Foles?
I'm going
You're
Eagles.
agreeing with me?
I'm going
Holy
Eagles,
shit.
I think
this is a monumentous occasion here on Scout Team Sports.
It goes back to who has the better defense, but I also think you got to put points on the board. I just don't think Minnesota has enough weapons to put points on the board against that defense of Philadelphia, but Philadelphia has enough weapons with Jay and Nick Foles to put points on the board against Minnesota.
Did you just say Nick Foles is one of the weapons on the
I think dude, he led the team a couple of years ago. I'm just saying. He has more experience than Casey.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
He has more experience than Casey.
I thought you were going to do a little bit better with your argument here. So I got to go. I got to shout from the mountaintops here for the Eagles.
I think what that means is
Jay Ajayi.
I think that what that means is we need to go on
LeGarrette
to MVPs.
All right, MVPs.
Who's your MVP, Kyle? Do you have one, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I think I have an MVP here. We're going to go with the UCF National Champions license plates that are going to be released to the public, making it official on their national championship.
This is so embarrassing.
There is an actual license plate that is up to be purchased now for fans.
This is so bad.
This is not bad. This is what this world has come to. And I also want to give a little shout out to the UCF basketball team. They lost a really tough, hard-fought game against Cincinnati the other day, but UCF sports are really still living the dream, doing what they do every day. Great players out there, Taco Fall, BJ Taylor, a lot of guys out there that are just doing the good work for the school known as UCF. And that's right, we've got golden mics, we've got golden beers, but we do not have Golden Knights.
Las Vegas does. But go on, Anthony. You got an MVP? Or?
I got an MVP.
All right, let's go.
Sorry, I got to do this. My MVP is going to be Tim Gunn, the director for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like it.
He said that he would give $100,000 to Trump's favorite charity if he would actually step on the scale for everybody can weigh him. Because, he had that whole doctor visit, and, the doctor comes out and says, oh, he's in excellent health, and he's 1 pound under obese, and, he's just in fantastic health, and this is a guy that eat McDonald's every night, and I'm going to be honest with you, I ate McDonald's every night. I used to work there, and I can tell you I'm not in perfect health. So if he is, that's awesome, but Tim Gunn said, hey, look, I'll give you $100,000 to step on the scale, and I think that's pretty awesome.
So a couple of observations there. One, he just made himself even more of a nerd because he made a comic book guy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Comic book guy is
You watched that movie. You watched
First
that
of all, it is one of the best movies ever made for us nerds. So welcome to the fam.
Welcome to the. Oh, he's always been part of the fam, but welcome out of the closet.
Fuck you guys.
Oh man.
Second observation.
I'm going home.
Is you ate McDonald's.
South Park reference. You made us nerd vision. Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
Second observation is that he ate McDonald's every day and didn't make a documentary about it. You could be a millionaire right now. You could have done that before the Super Size Me guy did it.
Dude, you don't remember me working at McDonald's?
I do remember you working it. So why didn't you document
Where's your
that?
documentary, man?
Dude, my documentary would have been awesome because
Exactly.
I hired
That was-
everybody from school.
That was
man.
before Super Size Me. You should have
Dude.
done it. Missed out.
Yeah, I did.
Good thing
He
you're
was
on-
like, Oprah, you get a job. You get a job.
Dude,
you get a heart attack. You get obese.
Dude,
you love McDonald's.
I handed everybody a job.
Good thing you're on Scout Team Sports now because this is our second chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your second opportunity to make it big.
You know what my MVP is?
Let's hear it.
My MVP is playoffs.
Yeah.
You know why my MVP is playoffs? Because I
Why,
sat here
Chris?
and listened for a whole since the beginning of the season how bad the Jacksonville Jaguars are. And then I listened to how they were going to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Jaguars don't even belong in this game. And it's going to be the Steelers versus the Patriots. And it kind of reminded me of how everybody said that the Alabama Crimson Tide would just destroy the the UCF Knights.
That's
and,
right.
And
Preach
everything
it.
else.
Preach it, brother.
So my MVP is playoffs. You know, this.
God bless you, America.
This weird concept that every single major sports league in the entire world has, but college football. Playoffs. Decide things on the field, not on Twitter, not in Vegas, not on sports radio shows, not by ESPN experts, but on the field. And what happened?
Tell me, brother.
What happened when ESPN said the Steelers were going to win? What happened?
They were wrong. They're a 4-letter network with 4-letter intentions. They're a bunch of a-holes.
What happened when Vegas said that
about this,
the
guys.
Steelers were going to win?
They lost a bunch of freaking money.
What happened when every single
I'm
Steeler
so
fan
sorry
told
about
you
this,
that Blake Bortles wasn't
everybody
going to be able to
listening.
beat the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Blake Bortles took it and shoved it right up their
It
asses.
shouldn't be happening.
So my MVP right now
I'm
is
just sorry.
playoffs.
I'm sorry.
College football, take note.
Suck it, everybody but the playoffs.
Take note, college football, because while you're sitting there telling at UCF they're a bunch of jokers and everything else, and they couldn't even compete on the
They
same
really
field,
think they won a championship.
I heard the same thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars
bad.
and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess who's playing in the Final Four of the NFL
sorry to all our
playoffs?
listeners.
Who's
The
playing?
Jacksonville Jaguars led
So bad.
by UCF
crazy.
legend
This is
Blake
crazy.
Bortles.
This is crazy.
Hey, and FSU legend Jameis
Sorry.
Winston, who was supposed to be the savior, what's he doing right now? Sitting on his couch eating bonbons.
To all of our fans, all our listeners, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry about this.
And
Really.
for all of our fans, we're sorry that Anthony has brought down this show because Chris America brought the best MVP I've ever heard in my life. And we want to thank all of you listeners out there for listening in, for all of the amazing wisdom that Chris America brought in for his MVP,
I just
all
drank
of the
me out of
negativity that is
Corona
brought
like
in for
glass.
Anthony,
That's what I
the
did.
golden
I
microphone man that he is, self-proclaimed.
I'm sorry.
Tune in next week where we'll discuss which Harry Potter character is Anthony's favorite and which book made him cry.
Motherfucker.
Peace.
See ya.
We're out.